In a world where financial advice often feels like a one-size-fits-all mantra, save more, spend less, avoid debt at all costs, the reality is that millionaires operate on an entirely different plane. While most people are caught in the endless cycle of trading time for money, millionaires have cracked the code to building wealth through strategies that leverage systems, psychology, and unconventional wisdom. These aren't just tips or surface-level tricks. They're deep-rooted principles rooted in financial psychology that allow them to not only accumulate wealth, but sustain it over generations. The truth is, millionaires don't play by the same rules as everyone else. They've mastered the art of thinking differently about money, leveraging opportunities others overlook, and maintaining discipline in ways that defy conventional norms. This isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about understanding how your mindset around money shapes your financial outcomes. For instance, while the average person might view debt as inherently bad, millionaires see it as a tool, a double-edged sword that can either build wealth or destroy it, depending on how it's used. Similarly, millionaires approach taxes not as a burden, but as an opportunity. Instead of complaining about April 15th, they structure their finances in ways that legally minimize their tax liabilities. They surround themselves with people who elevate their thinking rather than drag it down, knowing full well that your environment shapes your financial decisions. And perhaps most importantly, they prioritize long-term wealth building over short-term gratification, recognizing that true financial freedom comes from creating systems that generate income without requiring constant effort. This video dives into 15 secrets that millionaires use to build and maintain their wealth. Secrets that, if understood and applied, could transform your financial trajectory. But here's the catch. These aren't just strategies. They're psychological shifts. Each secret represents a fundamental way of thinking about money that challenges societal norms and forces you to reevaluate your relationship with wealth. From rejecting the paycheck-to-paycheck mentality to embracing the power of passive income, these insights will expose how millionaires think and why the rest of us often fall short. So buckle up. What you're about to learn isn't just information, it's a paradigm shift. By the end of this script, you'll understand exactly how millionaires navigate the financial landscape, and more importantly, you'll have actionable steps to start implementing these principles in your own life. Because let's face it, if you keep doing what everyone else is doing, you'll end up with what everyone else has, which isn't much. Ready to flip the script? Let's get started. The illusion of trading time for money. Why millionaires think differently. At the heart of the average person's financial struggle lies a deeply ingrained belief, the idea that time equals money. Most individuals live by the equation that the more hours they work, the more money they earn. This linear exchange, working 40, 50, or even 60 hours a week for a steady paycheck, is seen as a default path to financial stability. Yet, this mindset is precisely what keeps the majority trapped in a cycle of mediocrity. Millionaires, on the other hand, reject this notion entirely. They understand that time is their most valuable asset, and trading it directly for money is a losing proposition in the long run. Consider this. When you trade time for money, you are limited by two finite resources, your energy and the number of hours in a day. No matter how hard you work, there's a ceiling to how much you can earn, because your capacity to produce is constrained by physical and temporal boundaries. Millionaires recognize this limitation early on and pivot their focus toward creating systems that generate income without requiring their constant presence. This is where the concept of leverage comes into play. Leverage allows them to multiply their efforts exponentially by using tools, investments, and other people's time to create wealth. Take, for example, the story of Sarah, a software engineer who decided to break free from the paycheck-to-paycheck grind. Instead of continuing to trade her 50-hour work weeks for a salary, she invested in learning how to build automated online businesses. She created a digital course teaching coding skills and set up a system where customers could purchase at any time, anywhere. Within months, Sarah was earning passive income while she slept. Her initial investment of time and money paid off because she shifted her focus from trading time for money to creating a scalable system. Mastering the tax game, how millionaires turn the IRS into their ally. While the average person dreads tax season, millionaires view it as an opportunity, a chance to legally minimize their liabilities and maximize their wealth. The difference lies not in evading taxes, which is illegal, but in understanding the intricacies of tax laws and strategically structuring their finances to take full advantage of available loopholes. For most people, taxes feel like a necessary evil, an unavoidable drain on their income. But for millionaires, taxes are a game they've learned to play exceptionally well. One of the most powerful tools in a millionaire's arsenal is the use of legal entities such as LLCs, limited liability companies, trusts, and corporations. These structures serve dual purposes. They protect personal assets and provide significant tax benefits. For instance, forming an LLC allows entrepreneurs to separate their business expenses from their personal finances while qualifying for deductions that would otherwise be inaccessible. Similarly, setting up a trust can help reduce estate taxes and ensure smoother wealth transfer across generations. These strategies may sound complex, but they're standard practice among the wealthy. Real estate offers another prime example of how millionaires leverage tax laws to their advantage through depreciation, a non-cash expense that accounts for the wear and tear of property over time. They can deduct substantial amounts from their taxable income each year. Imagine owning a rental property that generates $30,000 annually in profit. Thanks to depreciation, you might report little to no taxable income from that property, effectively shielding thousands of dollars from the IRS. Over decades, this adds up to massive savings. Another tactic involves investing in tax-free or tax-deferred assets. Municipal bonds, for example, offer interest payments that are exempt from federal taxes and sometimes state taxes as well. Meanwhile, retirement accounts like IRAs and 401(k)s allow contributions to grow tax-free until withdrawal, giving investors a head start on compounding growth. Millionaires also utilize charitable donations strategically, both to support causes they care about and to claim sizable deductions. The depreciation trap. Why millionaires avoid liabilities like new cars. One of the most glaring financial mistakes the average person makes is buying liabilities disguised as assets. A brand new luxury car, for instance, might feel like a status symbol, but in reality, it's a wealth-draining machine. Millionaires understand this distinction deeply. They prioritize acquiring assets that appreciate or generate income, while avoiding depreciating liabilities like the plague. This principle isn't just about frugality. It's about understanding how money works and ensuring every dollar you spend contributes to your long-term financial growth. Take cars, for example. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, its value plummets, sometimes by as much as 20 to 30%. Within a year, that shiny BMW or Tesla could lose half its original price tag. Meanwhile, financing such purchases at high interest rates only compounds a problem. You're essentially paying double for something that's losing value faster than you can pay it off. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest individuals in the world, famously drives an older Cadillac. His reasoning? I don't need to spend money on things that won't make me any smarter. Similarly, Mark Zuckerberg has been spotted driving a modest Honda Fit, proving that even billionaires see no logic in wasting resources on rapidly depreciating items. Paying yourself first, the non-negotiable rule of wealth building. If there's one habit that separates millionaires from the rest of us, it's their unwavering commitment to paying themselves first. While most people follow the conventional approach of paying bills and expenses before saving whatever's left, if anything, millionaires flip the script entirely. They treat their future selves as their top priority, setting aside a significant portion of their income, typically 10-20%, for wealth-building activities before addressing any other financial obligations. This simple yet powerful strategy is what allows them to accumulate substantial wealth over time. Here's how it works. Imagine receiving your paycheck. Instead of immediately allocating funds toward rent, utilities, groceries, or entertainment, a millionaire first diverts a fixed percentage directly into investments, retirement accounts, or other income-generating assets. Only after securing their financial future do they allocate the remainder to living expenses. This ensures that their wealth grows consistently, regardless of external circumstances. It's not about having excess money. It's about making disciplined choices. Even if your budget feels tight, prioritizing yourself forces you to live within your means and find creative ways to stretch your dollars. For instance, consider John, who adopted the pay-yourself-first philosophy despite earning a modest salary. Every payday, he automatically transferred 15% of his income into a brokerage account invested in index funds. Initially, it felt challenging to adjust his lifestyle, but over time, those small contributions compounded significantly. By age 40, John had amassed a six-figure portfolio, all because he made his future self non-negotiable. The art of smart debt, leveraging good debt to build wealth. Debt is often painted as a villain in financial advice, but millionaires see it differently. They distinguish between good debt and bad debt. Good debt is a tool for wealth creation, while bad debt is a financial trap. For instance, taking out a mortgage to buy a rental property that generates monthly cash flow is an example of good debt. The property pays for itself over time and builds equity, all while providing passive income. Similarly, securing a business loan to scale operations or acquire income-producing assets can multiply earnings exponentially. Millionaires understand that leveraging other people's money, OPM, through strategic borrowing allows them to amplify their returns without depleting their own resources. On the flip side, bad debt, like high-interest credit cards, car loans, or financing depreciating assets, can cripple your finances. Imagine paying 15 to 20% interest on a luxury item that loses half its value within months. This type of debt doesn't generate income, it drains it. Millionaires avoid these pitfalls by adhering to a simple rule. If the debt doesn't make you money, don't touch it. By focusing on acquiring appreciating assets and using low-cost, tax-deductible debt strategically, they turn what most people fear into a powerful ally. The key takeaway? Debt isn't inherently evil. It's how you use it that determines whether it works for or against you. Multiple income streams. Why millionaires never rely on a single paycheck. Millionaires live by a golden rule. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Unlike the average person who relies solely on a single paycheck, millionaires diversify their income streams to safeguard against uncertainty. A sudden job loss, market downturn, or unexpected expense could devastate someone dependent on one source of income. Millionaires mitigate this risk by building multiple revenue channels, such as rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, side businesses, or royalties from intellectual property. This layered approach ensures that even if one stream falters, others continue to generate cash flow. For example, consider someone who owns a small e-commerce store, rents out a duplex, and holds a portfolio of index funds. If the e-commerce business experiences a slow season, rental income and stock dividends keep the financial engine running smoothly. Diversification isn't just about spreading risk. It's about creating resilience. Millionaires know that true financial security comes from having several irons in the fire, each contributing to their overall wealth. The lesson here is clear. Start exploring ways to build additional income streams today, because relying on a single paycheck is like walking a tightrope without a safety net. Cash flow over traditional retirement. Redefining financial freedom. Millionaires don't view retirement the way most people do. While the average person diligently contributes to a 401k or IRA, hoping to retire comfortably at 65, millionaires focus on creating cash flow retirement. This means building passive income streams early in life, so they can achieve financial independence long before traditional retirement age. They understand that relying solely on savings accounts or employer-sponsored plans often leaves individuals vulnerable to market fluctuations, inflation, and restrictive tax penalties. For example, instead of waiting decades to stop working, a millionaire might invest in rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, or online businesses that generate consistent monthly income. These systems allow them to retire earlier, or at least have the flexibility to pursue passions without worrying about money. Imagine someone who owns 3 rental homes generating $3,000 per month in cash flow. That's $36,000 annually, enough to cover living expenses without touching their primary savings. The key difference lies in mindset. Millionaires aim for freedom now, not delayed gratification later. Surrounding themselves with success. The power of a rich friend circle. One of the most overlooked yet powerful habits of millionaires is their deliberate effort to surround themselves with successful, like-minded individuals. They understand the adage, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your environment shapes your mindset decisions and ultimately your financial outcomes. Millionaires intentionally curate their social circles to include people who inspire growth, challenge mediocrity, and open doors to new opportunities. Consider this scenario. If you're constantly around people who complain about money, make impulsive purchases, or lack ambition, those behaviors will rub off on you. Conversely, spending time with entrepreneurs, investors, or real estate moguls exposes you to strategies and mindsets that accelerate your own success. For instance, a budding investor attending networking events with seasoned pros might learn insider tips about lucrative markets or tax-saving techniques they'd never discover alone. Millionaires know this isn't coincidence. It's strategy. Prioritizing health. The millionaire's secret weapon. Millionaires understand that health and wealth are inextricably linked. While the average person might prioritize short-term pleasures like junk food or late-night Netflix binges, millionaires treat their bodies like high-performance machines. They know that energy, focus, and resilience, the cornerstones of productivity, are rooted in physical and mental well-being. For example, successful entrepreneurs like Richard Branson and Elon Musk have openly credited their rigorous exercise routines and disciplined diets for their ability to sustain long work hours and make clear-headed decisions under pressure. The logic is simple. Being unhealthy is expensive. Chronic illnesses, fatigue, and stress not only drain your finances through medical bills, but also rob you of opportunities to grow your wealth. Millionaires invest in preventive care, eating nutrient-dense foods, exercising regularly, and prioritizing sleep because they recognize that their most valuable asset isn't their bank account. It's their ability to perform at peak levels. If you want to think like a millionaire, start treating your body as the foundation of your financial success, not an afterthought. Money rules, the blueprint for staying rich. Millionaires don't leave their financial success to chance. They operate by a set of non-negotiable money rules that keep them on track. These rules act as guardrails, ensuring they avoid common pitfalls like overspending or accumulating bad debt. For instance, many millionaires adhere to the 30% rule, which caps housing expenses at no more than 30% of their income. They also prioritize investing at least 20% of their earnings before allocating funds to discretionary spending. These principles aren't just guidelines, they're ironclad commitments. Compare this to the average person who often wings it with money, reacting impulsively to societal pressures or fleeting desires. Without a framework, it's easy to fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation, earning more but saving less. Millionaires, however, stick to their rules regardless of external circumstances. By creating your own set of money rules and holding yourself accountable, you can replicate their discipline and build lasting wealth. Remember, consistency trumps perfection every time. Reading over entertainment. The millionaire's intellectual edge. The average person spends hours binge-watching Netflix or scrolling through TikTok, but millionaires invest that same time into reading and learning. Studies show that the typical millionaire reads at least one book per week, often on topics like business, investing, or personal development. This isn't about being a bookworm. It's about gaining knowledge that translates into actionable strategies. For instance, someone who reads Rich Dad, Poor Dad might discover the power of passive income, while another diving into The Intelligent Investor could learn how to navigate stock markets with confidence. Meanwhile, most people consume entertainment passively, filling their minds with fleeting distractions instead of long-term value. The difference is stark. One group builds intellectual capital, while the other stagnates. Millionaires understand that every book, podcast, or course is an opportunity to sharpen their skills and expand their mindset. If you want to close the wealth gap, start by closing the knowledge gap. Swap screen time for page time and watch how your perspective and your bank account transforms. Emotional discipline, the key to smart financial decisions. Emotions are the silent saboteurs of financial success, yet millionaires have mastered the art of keeping them in check. While the average person might panic sell stocks during a market downturn or impulse buy something to cope with stress, millionaires rely on logic and strategy. They know that fear and greed drive poor decisions, so they detach their emotions from their money moves. For example, when everyone else is selling off assets during a recession, millionaires see it as a buying opportunity, knowing that markets eventually recover. This discipline extends beyond investments. Millionaires avoid lifestyle inflation, resist peer pressure to overspend, and never let short-term desires derail their long-term goals. Consider this. If you've ever purchased something expensive out of sadness or frustration, you're not alone, but you're also playing into a cycle that keeps you broke. The secret lies in pausing before making financial decisions. Ask yourself, is this logical, or am I letting emotions dictate my choices? By mastering emotional control, you can make smarter, wealth-building decisions consistently. The buy it twice rule, a simple test for financial sanity. Millionaires live by a rule that's as straightforward as it is transformative. The buy it twice principle. Before making any purchase, they ask themselves, can I afford to buy this item twice and still be financially secure? If the answer is no, they walk away, no matter how tempting the deal might seem. For example, if a millionaire wants to buy a $5,000 watch, they ensure they have at least $10,000 in liquid assets available. This approach eliminates impulse buying and forces them to evaluate whether a purchase aligns with their long-term financial goals. Compare this to the average person who often finances luxury items like the latest iPhone or designer handbags, even while still paying off previous purchases. This behavior creates a cycle of debt and delayed financial freedom. By adopting the buy it twice mindset, you can break free from the trap of living paycheck to paycheck. It's not about deprivation. It's about discipline. If you can't afford to buy something twice, you're simply not ready to buy it once. Always have an exit plan. Thinking beyond the starting line. Millionaires understand that success isn't just about starting. It's about finishing strong. Whether launching a business, investing in real estate, or entering the stock market, they always have a clear exit strategy in place. For instance, before purchasing a rental property, a savvy investor calculates not only potential monthly cash flow, but also how they'll sell or refinance the property if needed. Similarly, when starting a business, millionaires plan for eventualities like selling the company, automating operations, or scaling it further. This forward-thinking approach minimizes risk and maximizes returns. Meanwhile, most people dive into ventures blindly, hoping for the best without considering contingencies. Hope is not a strategy, and millionaires know this all too well. By planning your exit before you begin, you ensure that every move you make is deliberate and aligned with your ultimate goals. Remember, success isn't accidental. It's meticulously planned. Never too busy to make money. The millionaire's time philosophy. Millionaires don't believe in the phrase, "I'm too busy." While most people claim they lack time to build wealth, whether it's starting a side hustle, investing, or learning new skills, millionaires make time. They understand that time is finite, but how you use it determines your financial destiny. Instead of wasting hours scrolling through social media or consuming mindless entertainment, they prioritize activities that generate income or grow their knowledge. For instance, someone might spend 30 minutes daily reading about stock market strategies instead of aimlessly browsing Instagram. Over time, these small choices compound into significant results. The truth is, being busy is often an excuse for poor prioritization. Millionaires know that wealth building doesn't require massive sacrifices. It requires consistent action. Whether it's flipping and used items online, launching a passion project, or researching investment opportunities, there's always room to create value. If you want to think like a millionaire, stop letting distractions steal your potential. Reclaim your time and redirect it toward pursuits that move you closer to financial freedom. Remember, you're not too busy. You're just choosing what matters most. Taking action, why knowledge without execution is worthless. Knowing these secrets won't change your life unless you act on them. Millionaires understand that success isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Most people fall into the trap of consuming endless information without applying any of it. They read books, watch videos, and attend seminars but fail to take the first step toward implementation. For example, someone might learn about real estate investing yet hesitate for years, waiting for the perfect moment. Meanwhile, millionaires embrace imperfection. They start small, learn along the way, and adjust as needed. The challenge here is simple. Pick one secret from this list and apply it immediately. Whether it's setting up an automated savings plan, buy your first dividend-paying stock, or networking with successful individuals, taking action creates momentum. Consistency beats intensity every time. Millionaires aren't born rich. They cultivate habits that lead to wealth over time. So ask yourself, Are you going to be part of the majority who knows but doesn't do? Or will you join the ranks of those who act and achieve? The choice is yours, but remember, excuses don't build bank accounts.